Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of All Mavericks Lost Reaction. This week we are on Lost Season 1, Episode 5, White Rabbit.
Hell yeah.
Ready for some more Lost, Tom?
Do you think they're going to eat the white rabbit?
That's what they're going to find. They've had boar last week. Last episode. This episode they're having White Rabbit. Next episode?
Penguin.
Elephant. Penguins. Penguins maybe. We found polar bears, right? They could be penguins.
They should have brought the polar bear back to camp. Then they wouldn't have run out of food.
Those things are massive, but dragging that thing all the way back to camp would probably be pretty knackering. For anyone who happens to be jumping in right now, don't know why you're jumping in at episode 5.
Go back to episode 1.
Go back to episode 1. But everyone, just as a little refresher, I have seen Lost all the way through a couple of times. I know the season well. I know the series well as a whole. Jeremy has seen it all the way through once. Got the ending wrong.
Got a memory like a sieve.
Got a memory like a... So it's kind of twofold, right? It's been a long time since he's seen it. He's got a memory like a sieve, and he got the ending wrong in the first place.
I don't think I invested a lot of time properly in the last 2 seasons of Lost.
Right, okay.
Which I think I said to you before. I think that kind of led me in some different wrong directions, but I remember some key plot points.
Yeah, okay.
Like the last one with Locke, I knew he was in a wheelchair pre-island.
But there's just a lot of the nuance
stuff in between
stuff
that I can't remember. It feels like I'm almost watching it new.
Yeah,
which I'm quite liking.
And baby boy Tom over here, who was only 9 years old when Lost first started.
It was too late. It's past my bedtime.
Bedtime.
I can watch it.
So you've never seen it. We're 4 episodes in. How are you finding it so far? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I knew I would, because it was such a big thing. I remember how big it was even as a kid.
Yeah.
So I was expecting good things, and I know some people that have watched it all the way through, and they've always said it was good. So.
Yeah. Well, we've got quite a few episodes to go. Shall we crack on with episode 5, White Rabbit?
Let's do it.
Cool. Right, let's go.
Let's get picked up.
Absolutely battered.
Walk away now. Don't get your ass kicked. Should have stayed down, Jack.
There you go, young Jack.
It's not quite the same as his first season in episode 1 when he woke up.
Yeah.
There's someone out there, look!
What the hell?
I woke up, it's just... I don't swim!
It's a white rabbit. It's not real.
Got action Jack now.
Yeah. That's why he says he gets things done.
Good strong swimmer.
I hope the current doesn't take him away.
Jack's gone from the series. Imagine that, getting out there and then kind of losing your bearing a little bit, not really knowing where the person's gone and stuff.
So if he had lifeguard training, he'd have kept
his eye on it
the whole time.
He'd have a periscope.
Okay. There's deep breaths now. Come on.
Boom.
Oh, yeah,
It is Boone.
I thought it was a girl.
There was a woman. I was trying. Did you get her?
Oh, okay.
It's a 2-for-1 job.
I knew there was a girl.
Oh, we gotta go back.
It's alright, you lot.
Yeah,
Stand by. It's fine.
I bet chocolate girls like Olympic swim, but it's too lazy.
For anyone watching Chocolate Girl, it's Shannon. For Tom, he just calls her Chocolate Girl because she was just eating chocolates in the first episode.
Well, yeah, she was kept talking about chocolate in the first episode. So.
I didn't try. I decided not to go after her.
Yeah, but what are you meant to do? I think that's
Yeah.
quite hard on himself, isn't he? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, this person
Jack?
isn't real. Otherwise, other people would have noticed.
Jack,
Yeah, he's got to be hallucinating then, isn't he? Because everyone else would have.
Did you see that?
what?
Standing there in the water, there was a man. Don't swallow it.
Why not?
Ocean water will make you thirsty.
Why?
It's not that young to be that
Don't
stupid.
swallow it, man. All right?
Were you drinking seawater at that age?
Or just actually explain to him properly why not, rather than just don't drink it.
I didn't think it tastes that bad. You know when you go swimming and you get it in your mouth?
Yeah, but Tom drinks seawater.
Why don't... Only when I go swimming.
Can I ask you something? Sure, shoot. Are you a Gemini? Yeah, I am. I thought so. Restless, passionate. You know, everyone thinks astrology is just a load of crap, but that's because they don't get it. I do charge you.
Yeah, I do.
7 of our viewers just turned off.
Whoa. Look tired, brother.
He does look pretty fucked.
Fine. That's it?
That's it.
How many?
18.
People just kind of took what they needed because we were supposed to be rescued, but we weren't.
The bore's running low until we can catch another one. What should we tell them?
I don't know. Maybe we can make one of those water finding sticks.
What should we do with the stuff we got?
I don't know.
Questions from every direction.
We should put it in the tent, yeah?
Maybe the dog can find water.
Probably better if no one knows how little is left.
I mean, dogs can find pot and bombs, so I'm sure you can find water.
It's like my little
Some
brother.
others are running low. Now, ration it, and you can decide.
I'm not deciding anything.
You don't want to be a hero. You don't want to try and save everyone. Because when you fail, you just don't have what it takes.
He's a rich Randy, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
You're not the only one who knows what's deal around here. You know that? I run a business. Who appointed you our savior? Hey, I'm talking to you. Look at Jack.
Jack, mate, they ain't got enough water for you to be running around like this.
Just gonna grab him and then have to tell him away having a piss. Piss all over him.
Ah, there we go.
Dad?
She's dad. Shocking.
Jack
he
has
doing
dad
that?
issues.
No,
Your father's gone, Jack.
100%.
Did you hear what I said? He's gone, Jack. Hey, hey! What's the matter? That pregnant lady fell down. What happened?
She's very pregnant.
It must be the heat. She needs water. Don't move, okay? She's breathing.
Oh no.
Honey, I think you have a fever. You need to stay with me.
Where's the
Stay.
water?
It's okay. It's okay. Okay, just rest.
Someone took it.
The water's gone.
I don't think it was him.
Someone stole it.
Jack's just running around aimlessly.
Chasing the white rabbit.
Indeed. I think you found the episode title, Tom.
You think that's why his shoes were white?
Maybe. Imagine running that far into a jungle, like completely like out of it, and then just being like, I don't know which way it came from. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Fucking hell. Jesus. Think your time's about over, buddy.
That was creepy.
Creepy.
Yeah.
That's like really creepy, yeah.
Take my hand.
You okay?
Jack's lost it.
This had water in it. Is it yours? Who gave you
Who's going to win this fight?
I'd like to bet on Saeed, but
Oh, Sawyer.
It'd almost be too obvious for Sawyer to steal the water, though, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? Being such an opportunist. Oh, but maybe. Oh.
It's about time.
For what?
I made this birthday wish 4 years ago.
Where's the water?
I traded Mr. Miyagi the last of my water for a fish he caught. We worked it out caveman style.
You gave him your last 2 bottles.
Water has no value, Freckles. It's gonna rain sooner or later. Hell, I'm an optimist.
Oh dear.
He's gonna have to move his stash now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Hey, you forgot something. Seeing as you're the new sheriff in town, might as well make it official.
God, he takes everything, doesn't he? He even took the sheriff badge.
I think it's good.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's like,
How are they?
he takes all the random stuff, but it could come useful.
The others.
He's a scavenger.
Thirsty?
I think I'm going crazy.
Well, you're not going crazy.
No?
No, crazy people don't know they're going crazy. They think they're getting sane. I've looked into the eye of this island, and what I saw was beautiful.
So you're referring to the thing, do you reckon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
Wait, where are you going?
To find some more water?
I'll come with you.
No, you need to finish what you started.
Why?
Because the leader can't leave until he knows where he's going.
Man of many wise words, isn't he, Hollock?
Yeah, like if that last episode didn't happen, I'd still think, he was like some ex-army.
Mm.
That's him.
There you go. It would be weird for him to be on the island, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Jeremy's just remembered something.
No, just
Finding the water.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was like his dad leading him to it, wasn't it?
Oh, shit.
What is it?
It's a coffin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's not what you want to see. Or maybe you do want to see that. I don't think you wanted to see that.
Jesus. Coffin's not very strong.
That would have been a nice bed.
Yeah, or like a crib for the pregnant lady.
Just not thinking, is he? Imagine that, using a coffin as your baby's crib.
So is he alive then?
He can't be. Must have fallen out.
Uh-oh.
Just pouring it in there.
Where's he got all that water from, though?
Oh, it's Boone.
Where'd you get that? Here's your thief! Where'd he hide it? I don't know. This wanker had 3 bottles on him. Why'd you do it, pretty boy?
I always like when you hear him use words like wanker in
Just
American
in the den.
shows.
Jack just took off.
Now I found water. Fresh water up in the valley. I'll take a group in at first light. If
There
you
might
don't
be a dead
wanna
body in
come,
it
then
somewhere.
Find another way to contribute.
Oh, that would pollute the water.
Yeah.
Where's Mr. Locke?
There is Mr. Locke, indeed. I've seen him since he pulled
Still
Jack
looking
off.
for water.
Yeah, yeah. He's gone.
Oh, okay. That's probably what Kate's thinking as well. Oh, Vincent needs some water too.
Yeah. It's gasping. There we go.
He's going to give
it to the wall.
Yeah, he's going to give it to the kid next as well.
How's it feel?
Okay, so that was Lost Season 1, Episode 5, White Rabbit. So let's take a moment and then we'll come back and have a chat about it. Okay, so that was Lost Season 1, Episode 5, White Rabbit. And I'd say, Tom, from the off, you were pretty on point with what you thought at the end of last episode, that there's going to be a white rabbit, Jack trying to find something, and that's very much... This episode was... There was a lot of questions in there, but it was quite a straightforward episode, as in it was...
Yeah, it was quite...
It
yeah.
was Jack... We found out that the person that he was seeing was his dad.
Yes.
It was Jack trying to find his dad on the island, looking for him, us realising that the island was running out of water. Mm-hmm. Oh, at the very beginning, actually, of course, we saw somebody drowning. Jack ran out to save them.
Yeah.
Got Boone. You instantly thought, I thought it was a girl. Or no, actually, maybe you said I thought it was a girl. And then, actually, there's another person drowning.
Yeah.
Because somebody was out there drowning. Boone tried to save them, and Jack ended up having to save Boone. By the time he went back out, the girl, the woman who was just one of our kind of background characters, had drowned. And then the episode really led into Jack trying to find this person in a suit that we found out was his dad.
His dad issues.
Him pursuing his dad until eventually we found out that his dad sort of led him to his coffin, but also a water supply. Sort of clean water supply, a little waterfall in a cave with another section of the plane, like maybe a cargo hold bit by the look of it.
Yeah.
It would make sense where his dad's coffin would come from. Aside from that, we saw that this episode was really about Jack trying to find his dad, both in the current day and in the flashback. In the flashback, we found out that his dad was a bit of a shit dad. Basically said that he wasn't a leader, wasn't up to the challenge of all these things. Then something happened between the two of them. His dad had ended up in Australia.
We don't know why, do we?
We don't know why.
Yeah.
We know something happened between the two of them when Jack's now an adult. Something happened. They hadn't spoken in a couple of months.
Is it just about them two, though? Because the mum said something about him not having any friends anymore.
She said, hasn't got any friends after what Jack did.
Oh, it was after what Jack did.
After what Jack did. So Jack went over to Australia trying to find his dad. Didn't manage to find him. Well, did find him, but by the time we found him, it was too late. He had, we assume, drunk himself to death or something along those lines. Yeah. And then Jack was bringing the coffin back to America when the plane crash took place. But at the end of the episode, we had kind of a little bit of a moment of relief in that they found water. The camp now had a good supply of water where they were running low previously.
Just did a very kind of small William Wallace speech.
Yeah, he had his little live together or die alone moment, which was Jack finally kind of seizing that moment of leadership which he had been very much pushing away from. But we'll talk more about that. Before we go into details of the episode, thoughts on the episode? What did you guys think of this one?
Might be one of my favourite ones. I mean, I knew, you could tell from the title that it was going to be someone, presumably Jack, because of the guy in the last episode that we kept seeing, which was his dad.
But at that point, we obviously didn't know it was his dad, but Jack was the only person that seemed to be seeing this person.
And I liked it. Yeah, I think I liked the whole story of Jack following this. And like you said, he was looking for his dad before the plane crash and after the plane crash. So it was nice. I really liked this one. Yeah,
it was two parts of. It was almost like two versions of telling the same story. Yeah. And we still don't know what happened between the two. But what we do know is that Jack's dad was somebody who very much seems to have always. We saw it at the beginning, right? We saw Jack getting involved in a fight, another kid getting beaten up, Jack stepping in to try and defend them, and his dad basically telling him, "You can't save everybody. Don't try, you're not up to it."
Yeah.
Basically, his dad telling him, you're just not up to the challenge. Yep. Which obviously has gone on to be why Jack is quite resistant of taking this leadership mantle that they kind of try to push on him. But in the end, he's kind of, I don't know, did he kind of seized the leadership role? Was him smashing up his dad's coffin? Was that kind of like symbolism of him?
Where was the body?
Well, the body wasn't. That's the thing. The body wasn't. So okay, then So we're going to jump around a little bit here. We're going to jump around a little bit here. Right. Ends with him smashing up his dad's coffin. The coffin is empty when he opens it, and to me, that's him kind of saying a bit of a "fuck you." I'm, I can do this. I'm like my own man now. Then he comes out and he's ready to lead the group.
Yeah.
But.
Where's the body?
Let's talk about that. What is Jack seeing? Is his dad alive again? What is the situation going on there?
No, he's not.
No?
No, he's not.
I just don't understand. No, I don't know. I think there's two theories to this. He's found the coffin. Either the body's flown out at some point.
Whee!
On as it's crashed.
Yeah.
And just the lid's closed.
Yeah.
Or his dad is alive. I don't.
And the island's brought him back somehow.
Brought Lieutenant Dan's legs back, didn't he? So we can't.
Yeah.
So now you got me thinking.
I don't know. This is the thing, isn't it?
Well, you wanted to ask last episode, Tom. What else? If the island if something to do with the island has fixed Locke's legs,
why can't it fix someone's whole body?
But why would his dad get out and then close the coffin? Why wouldn't he just leave it open?
Is that the issue here?
No, it's like, why is he so...
Why has he closed the door?
Yeah. It's very neat and tidy.
Exactly.
Why is he wearing trainers?
Why would he be so attentive to close the coffin after he got out? I reckon.
I love that.
I think
Why
he's
is he
just
wearing
fell out.
trainers? Is it hard to get shoes on a corpse?
I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know if that's a thing.
I don't know. I need to Google that.
I reckon
No,
he
don't
just-
tell us that in the comments below.
He just fell out.
He just fell out. You think he's stuck in a tree somewhere?
Yeah, like maybe the coffin did a few rolls and he fell out.
Okay, so what is Jack what's Jack seeing then?
An empty coffin.
What is the thing that Jack is seeing in the trees? The person that he's seeing, right? Because he got really close to him at one point.
Yeah, because he even touched it and turned him round. Touched his shoulder.
So
I don't know. I don't know if we have an answer yet.
oh, we haven't got an answer yet. I'm just
I don't
going
know.
for speculation.
He's either seen his dad, but then I find that kind of weird. If his dad is alive, he would be speaking to him and he wouldn't be appearing, disappearing. So that kind of does rule out that theory. So is it just the island projecting his dad?
Mm-hmm.
But then I still want to know where his dad is, because he wasn't in the coffin. Or are they just going to ignore that and just pretend it didn't happen? I'm not sure.
I'm just gonna have to say there was nothing there. He was just imagining it.
It was that because part of this as well also was the fact that dehydration was a thing throughout this episode, right? We saw Jack getting more and more dehydrated, run out. You could see like they weren't drinking anything. He was running around. He swam out into the ocean twice. Went running around
after his dad
in the jungle. Had a fall. Like was clearly low on water. He even said, didn't he? After Locke pulled him back up, he said, "What would you say if I was telling you that I'm seeing what you're seeing? What would you say about that?"
But he had seen his dad in the previous episode.
But they were probably. But he did say dehydration, post-traumatic stress.
Yeah.
Like, so does it tie into that? Is he?
It still doesn't explain where the body's gone.
Doesn't explain the body's gone. Doesn't explain
I might be
why.
fixating on that too much, but
Doesn't explain why he would follow his dad. I mean, it'd be pretty convenient that he'd be following his dad. This thing that looked like his dad that led to the coffin.
Yeah,
You know, that-
isn't it?
yeah,
You know, that's
maybe the island was that was the only thing the island knew to
lead him to
lead him to water.
Well, that's the
possibly.
thing. Is some part of the island trying to? I don't know. Is some part of the island trying to help them? Is it trying to lead them towards this
Yeah.
water supply?
Oh, God, such a shit memory.
Probably. I mean, the island gave Locke his legs back, and the island also led Jack to
Yeah.
water. So, I mean, there's obviously something going on.
Yeah. I mean, we got to see that Jack and his dad are like, I don't know. They feel to me like kind of two separate sides of a coin, really. Like
one's
Jack is
compassionate, one's not.
Yeah. Basically, his dad said, "I had a boy a year younger than you on the table today. Died. I had to distance myself from it. I come home, I watch TV, I have a drink, I laugh.
Yeah.
You know." But he basically says to Jack that you take things too. You know, you can't save everyone. You're not a hero. Whereas, so, you know, maybe I think sometimes I'm not saying his dad's completely in the wrong, because I don't think a surgeon can treat every matter like it is. You know, I think if that is you, I think that would probably destroy who you are. You know, with every person that dies on your operating table, you probably will lose it eventually if you can't distance yourself from the situation. But his dad is very
definitely
non-compassionate, even to his son, it would seem.
100%. Yeah, he wasn't very didn't really care about Jack by the looks of things. He was just like, "It's my son." Well, that's about it.
Yeah.
He just didn't really care about him.
Yeah. So so talking more about that then. What do we think has happened? What do you think happened between Jack and his dad?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it goes back to, you know, how that kid died on the table. Like, maybe I don't know. Maybe because he was the chief of surgery or whatever. Maybe he was about to get sacked, and maybe Jack was, you know, had gone to someone at his work and be like, doesn't really seem to care about these people. Doesn't seem like, you know, he's trying his hardest. Almost, it's like he's not very, you know, he doesn't care about the people.
Mm-hmm.
So
you think Jack could have put him into a position where people were questioning his professionalism in a way?
That's the only thought I had, because I guess by his friends, you know, when the mum said his friends also left him.
Yeah.
I guess friends could also mean like colleagues.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
So I don't know.
So another couple of things we saw outside of the main through line of like relationship between Jack and his dad. His dad, obviously, as we said, being the White Rabbit throughout this. We also got to see a little bit more Claire.
Yeah.
We got to see Claire with Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie kind of trying to help her. Claire saying that nobody will look her in the eye. Everyone thinks that she's an impending, like a time bomb.
Yeah.
Which probably not wrong. You're stuck on an island. You've got a very pregnant woman there.
Yeah.
Like that's got to be a point of concern for everybody.
A little bit more of Boone.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more of Boone as well.
Yeah.
We've got to see Boone trying to take charge. Right, he wanted to save that woman at the beginning, failed.
I think
Tried
they're
to
trying to
blame
overcompensate
Jack, yeah.
in a way, isn't he?
Yeah, and then when they found out that they were down to 18 bottles of water, trying to find out who stole the water, which was something we actually did. We skipped over at the beginning. Turned out in the end that Boone was the one who had taken the water because he felt like somebody needed to take charge.
Yeah.
And
to be
probably
fair,
didn't
he
do it the
wasn't
right way.
wrong. It was just
No.
probably the way it wasn't.
It wasn't done in the right
wasn't
way.
done in the right way. Yeah, he was probably had the right meaning behind it.
Yeah, exactly. He should have told people, but
Yeah.
that's what a leader would do. But instead, he was like, "I'm just going to nick the water."
I think part of that is his how young he is coming
Yeah.
through in it. Like a lot like him going out into the water to try and I think he is more sure of his ability than he necessarily has the
Yeah.
skill to back up to an extent. Like, almost got himself killed trying to save the girl.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can't take anything away from him by him trying to save somebody that's drowning, but maybe didn't go about it in the right way. Maybe he should have told somebody else what was going on rather than just trying to go out there by himself and then trying to throw that back in Jack's face and blame Jack for why they are now 46 people instead of 47 people. I'm concerned it might have been Belly Top Girl because I don't remember seeing the rest of the episode.
No, he didn't.
I think Belly Top Girl might have drowned.
And she was a workhorse as well.
She was a workhorse. She was.
Yeah.
What I was concerned was when they were talking about her, they went, she was supposed to be off scuba diving, but she couldn't go because she had an ear infection. I'm going to question her ability to scuba dive.
Mm-hmm.
She drowned out there too, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
I was going to say we saw the wheeler dealer.
Sawyer, that was literally
into.
the next. Sawyer's stash was literally the next bit, so we got to see quite a bit of that.
I remember Sawyer being one of my favourite characters in this, without giving too much away in this show, along with Locke. Mm-hmm. And we spoke last episode about Hurley and Charlie being comic relief. I find probably Sawyer at the moment the comedic value of
Sawyer he's got like the dry.
Yeah, definitely.
They're different humours, right?
Yeah,
Sawyer is like dry, sarcastic
Hurley, Charlie,
humour.
a bit an idiot.
We got to see
Harmless
that.
idiots.
You said they were like your brothers. Where Charlie and Hurley are walking along, just going, Jack, what should we do about this? What do we do about this? What do we do about this? What do we do about that? They've got that kind of. Yeah, they're kind of I don't want to say idiots because idiots isn't the right term, but they're a bit more slapstick.
Yeah. Like they're not leaders.
No,
no. I guess they're not very practical people either. So they were just like.
I did like Sawyer's optimism on the waterfront.
Oh yeah.
Just how optimistic it's going to rain soon.
Yeah, so he gave. We thought there was a whole bit of a deception where you thought that Sawyer had taken the water because he traded 2 bottles to gin.
Yeah.
But then it turned out that actually they were his bottles and he traded them for a fish gin cork because he was like, it's got to rain eventually. So optimist.
Yeah. It's a good idea, to be fair.
Well, it showed his forward thinking as well, because he's obviously hoarded all of that stuff, not just necessarily for his personal use, but knowing that in the future if we're here for a long time, I've got stuff to trade.
Well, look what he tried to get out of Shannon. It went from clearly trying to have sex with her, telling her first of all money was no good, then saying I'll give you this bug spray for sex implied. Then when she said, nah mate, he went, all right, $5,000.
$5,000.
So, guys going to get it from somewhere. Also, something that you can start noticing with Sawyer, and this isn't like a big plot point, he just gives everyone a nickname. Mm-hmm. He always calls Kate Freckles.
Sticks.
He calls her Sticks. So he's starting to give everyone nicknames. Obviously, he only ever calls Jack Doc.
Yeah.
Not a big nickname really, but
I think him hoarding that stuff, like I said, he's like a bit of a hoarder, bit of a junk rat. He's probably got some useful stuff like that bug spray. You might not think that's going to come in handy, but it might do at one point.
So let's just take a few minutes at the end here, because we've covered most of what went on in that episode. But I'd be interested to know because you've mentioned a few times a few like favourite characters. that you've had, that Locke's been a favourite of yours, Sawyer's been a favourite of yours. What about you, Tom? Is there anybody, now that we're 5 episodes in, is anybody starting to stand out for you as like any favourites so far? Obviously, we haven't learnt a lot about everyone, but we're starting to get a little bit of an idea of who they all are. Anyone standing out for you so far? Anyone you're really eager to learn more about? Maybe I should ask.
I don't know, like, not particularly. Like, I like all the characters, but I kind of just like them all equally. At the moment. I mean, there's characters I like Hurley and Locke, but yeah, I don't think I have like a favourite or favourites yet. I think, I'm still learning about all of them.
You kind of blanket want to know a bit more about everyone.
Yeah.
I think that is one thing that I always had whilst watching. There was never really... There's characters I liked more than other characters, but there was no one where I'd go, for fuck's sake, not this character.
No, I don't.
There was
think
no
I've
one
felt
who I
that way.
didn't like.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of brought their own, something to it.
I like Walt, actually. He's probably one of my favourites.
Yeah, you like Walt?
He's
I thought you were going to say
lad.
Vincent.
No, I like Vincent as well, actually. Yeah, I think I want to know more about the dad and Walt.
Michael and Walt.
I think they said it this episode, or maybe it was last episode, that Walt's mum had died like 2 weeks before.
That was last episode, yeah, but we didn't talk about it. Yeah, they did say that Walt's mum had died, yeah.
And obviously, Michael said that he wasn't really in Walt's life much as of yet. So there's obviously something going on between them. Obviously, Walt doesn't fully, I don't want to say love his dad, but he doesn't fully,
Doesn't know him?
Yeah, I guess that is, yeah.
Well, you see like a lot of their conversations of them kind of getting to know each other better, don't you? And there was like, this was in like episode 1 or 2, Walt was reading comics and Michael was asking him about the comics and, obviously starting to get to learn that his son is into comic books and stuff. Any other characters there then that so you've mentioned that. Are there any other characters who you've got speculations about who they might be, what they might be like, or is that the one that's really standing out for you?
Yeah, those two definitely stand out. I guess I want to know a bit more about I can't remember her name, the pregnant lady,
Claire.
Don't really care about how she got pregnant, but just kind of.
Tom, are we gonna have to? Do we need to talk about the birds and the bees? See, when a man and a lady love each other very, very much, sometimes they.
What does that mean?
Talk to your mum, Tom.
Anyway, thanks for watching.
Anyway, I think we should end that here. Okay, well, Tom wants to learn how sex happens. Oh no, Tom, cover your ears. I don't want to have to explain it.
Sex Ed will be in the next
Sex
episode.
Ed will be in the
if
next
you'd like to hit that
episode.
subscribe button.
Yeah. It's all right, Tom. You can take them off now.
Oh,
it's okay. It's okay. We just don't want to have to explain lady parts to you. Anyway, hopefully Tom will soon get to learn a bit about how pregnancy happens. Because that'll be exciting, won't it?
It will be. I hope it is. What if it's gross?
This is starting to turn into a very different reaction series. Anyway, thank you for watching, everybody. Actually, before we go on, the next episode. What's the name of the next episode? House of the Rising Sun?
House of the Rising Sun.
Tom, who's the next episode going to be focused on? Take a guess.
Walt called them Korean people.
No.
Hurley called them Chinese. But I think they're Korean.
Yeah.
Just from the sound of it.
So you're thinking this is based on like around Sun and Jin, yeah?
Unless the name of the episode's tricking me and I look like a right bigot, but I think that's what it's going to be about.
Okay, well, next episode we'll be watching House of the Rising Sun. Hope you've all enjoyed this episode. Remember, if you have, head over to allmaverick.com. You can check out our videos, blogs, podcasts. Go to twitch.tv/allmaverick live, where Thursday evenings from 9 PM UK time, we will be streaming some of our favourite video games. A lot of Sea of Thieves quite often, but generally any co-op stuff that we enjoy playing. And of course, if you have enjoyed this episode, please remember to hit the subscribe button, give us a like, and why not leave us a comment? Please don't leave any spoilers in there. Remember, I've seen this before. You probably can't spoil it for me. Probably can spoil it for Jez. Definitely can spoil it for Tom. So we'd love to know what you thought about this episode, but please don't leave any comments that this guy couldn't possibly know at this point. Cause,
like making babies.
You can leave some comments about how to make babies if you want. That's absolutely fine. Okay, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye. Bye. Right,
Bye.
Tom. So what you do is...
I don't want to know. I'm not old enough.